All right, all right. We're back with another great edition of RE Geeks. My name is Greg McDaniel. I'm your host. My other host is Mr. Michael Field, and he's the tech genius and the master of all things AI. We're going to be jumping into something I guarantee you have not heard. Okay, this is about Notebook LM. When Michael's going to go deep on this, it is going to blow your freaking minds. If you haven't heard about it, I didn't hear about it until yesterday. I've been addicted to it ever since because it is so freaking cool. It is so amazing. It will literally, like in the title, it will blow your mind. It literally will. So, Michael, without ado, welcome to the show, brother. You look
Thanks, Greg.
I'll get out today.
Thanks, man. I was just thinking I probably need a haircut soon, but just because I want that wave back. And Greg, I'm actually a little disappointed that you don't remember we have actually talked about Notebook LM in a previous episode.
Yeah, you never recall such conversation.
We did. We talked about it and we shared a little bit, but we're going to do something a little bit different today because I am super excited about a conversation that you and I had 2 days ago. Started 2 days ago, guys. You're not even going to believe this. Greg, raise your hand. Greg McDaniel created an agent to do something for him in ChatGPT. What'd you do it in? ChatGPT. So what we decided to do today is break things up a little bit differently than we have done before. We are going to talk about Notebook LM. We are going to talk about ChatGPT. But the difference today is there's no clickbait. We are going to show you how to use these tools. Greg is going to show you how he built an agent. I am going to show you how I use Notebook LM in my real estate business all the time because I think this is huge. So, Greg, you heard about it from me. We've talked about it before. You've played with it. Now we're going to show what we can actually do with Notebook LM.
Good. Let's get into this thing fast and furious, brother. I don't know why I'm hot up here outside. I am, but this is honestly super cool. I'm going to turn it onto the full screen.
Yep.
So everyone can really get the full experience because this is super freaking awesome sauce. Walk me through this. Let's get it started.
Okay. So, guys, for those of you that don't know, this is a Google product. If you have a Google Workspace account, you get potentially access to Pro version for free. Otherwise, right now, it's kind of free for everybody with a Google account. You can get there by going to notebooklm.google.com. That's all you need to know. It's going to ask you if you want to connect, and you are going to show up at a page like this. Now, I've deleted all my previous notebooks so that you could see exactly what I see when I first log into the system. If you've never connected before, you're going to see an introduction to Notebook LM, which is basically a notebook that you can go in and learn about Notebook LM. Now, you're probably starting off by asking, what is Notebook LM? Well, simple. Notebook LM is your own structured language model that you can query like you would any documents on ChatGPT. So I'm going to give you an example here today. I am going to create a new notebook. Okay, pretty straightforward. And Greg gave me some amazing HOA docs that I am going to upload into Notebook LM. Okay.
Now, keep in mind, now this is a very large document, is it not?
It is. I didn't look at how long it is, but it's a lot of data.
This is 914 pages of data.
914 pages of data. Now, Greg, traditionally being the great real estate agent that he is, read through all of these documents. Okay.
Oh, we can only wish.
So, first part of this, you can name this notebook. I'm just going to call this 360 HOA for RE Geeks, so I know I can delete this later. It is now read in there. You could add as many documents as you want. You can add links to outside sites. You can add photos. You can add pretty much anything you want to this LM. So if you have a bunch of different data sets, those are great as well. In this case, we're going to start with these 900 plus pages, and I'm going to ask the obvious questions. Now it comes up with some good ones. What are the immediate financial risks associated with the underfunded reserve analysis? Okay, so that's a good one.
I like that one, actually.
I'm going to start off with where I normally start. I am considering the purchase. What was this, Greg? A condo?
Yeah, so this is a condo that we help facilitate the sale of in the Keys in downtown Walnut Creek. It's almost a 900 unit development, so it's a very large development. A lot of moving parts in there, so that's why there's so many pages. And so there could be a lot of things hidden in the HOA docs that if you're not a trained forensic analysis or scientist in regards to finding loopholes in documentation and looking at financials, this is a phenomenal tool to go through because there's so many caveats that could take place that could be a detriment to your buyer or your seller, predominantly your buyer buying into a complex. And as Michael's tapping away here eagerly, like a hungry chipmunk looking for a nut, the thing is that Michael, you can ask it any question, and you're going to figure that out as Michael goes. There's a couple trigger questions that he's taught me that are absolutely insanely interesting.
And I'm going to start off with the basics because the beautiful part about Notebook LM and AI in general is you don't have to be a rocket scientist to use this. So I'm considering the purchase of a condo that included the attached HOA documents. Please highlight any risks associated with the association and outline any real financial considerations. So what it's going to do is it's checking this and it's going to go through this document based on the HOA documents provided. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but there are some things that you have. Your executive summary, significant red flags, most notably, jumped down there. Geez, that went fast. Went to the bottom.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, I jumped to the bottom when it was done. Okay. Most notably, active litigation, underfunded reserves, recent borrowing from reserve funds to cover operating costs. Okay, these are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they go through, and here's the critical financial risks. Okay, low funding level. As of January 1, reserve fund is approximately 42% funded. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know, that's a big deal. Why is it a big deal? AI tells you generally a funding level below 70% is considered a risk for special assessments. That means you could get asked for more money to cover the shortfalls. Below 50% is considered poor. 42%.
Well, we live in that category. We're living in that category right now.
Yeah. Okay. Projected special assessments. You may expect the levy of additional special assessments. Here's the bad part about special assessments, guys. You don't know what those numbers are, right? Could be $100. It could be $10,000.
Well,
okay.
Here's the thing about this. So I lived in the Keys for a while. So this is actually one of the properties. To be honest with you, be very transparent, this is actually the unit that I lived in for 11 years. And I had someone buy it for me for full price after he analyzed these documents. So he obviously was okay with it. But the special assessments, there's 3 pools. They took 2 pools out. They completely renovated them. It cost us a butt ton of money. There's all kinds of leakage in the windows throughout the complex and the different units. So there's always scaffolding up somewhere. So what they're saying here is actually very accurate. I lived it for 11 years.
Okay. So here we go. Indicate that to ensure additional contribution of $946 and change was calculated as necessary just to get through 2024. Okay. Operational cash flow issues. 2023, the HOA borrowed funds just to pay for operating costs. That's bad.
Very bad.
Okay. They are borrowing it from themselves, but that's what's reducing the reserve account. Okay. 2024 budget includes a line item to pay back $240,000 of those borrowed funds. So the borrow wasn't like, hey, can I have $300 until payday? Right? It was a big money.
Yeah, it was.
There is some active litigation going. Association is involved in litigation.
They always are. HOAs are always involved in litigation. So that one doesn't really bother me too much. But
yeah.
Yes.
However, it should bother some of you because some lenders will not finance a home in active litigation.
Actually, majority of them won't, and we had to get special financing for the sale of my unit and the other units I represented in there. So that's a very accurate statement. Good job, Michael.
Yep. Monthly cost regular assessment for 2024 is $900 plus $32.35 cable fee, totaling $933 per month.
That's actually cheap. I was paying $1,100. Yeah, I know that one hurt.
Okay, significant increase, looking at 10% compared to the previous year. Variable assessments. I mean, there's a whole bunch. They talk about transfer fees. Okay, now here's another big one. This association carries a $100,000 deductible for building coverage. If a loss occurs, that is covered by the master policy, but you could still end up having to pay for a deductible. You also need an HO6 policy that includes loss assessment coverage, and depending on where it is, that can be a big deal. This property, I know from what Greg has told me, is in the state of California. If you are in the state of California and you are looking to get a new HO6 policy right now, you need to start the day you make an offer on a home, because you are going to have to search to find that policy. If you are at all in a high-risk fire area, it's even that much harder. Okay, so don't think just anybody is going to open an insurance policy here in California, because it just doesn't work that way anymore. It's very, very hard. And the more unique the policy is, or the more at risk the property is, the more difficult it will be. Okay. Aging, built in the 70s, dude.
Dude, it was in the 70s. That place was the party zone of Walnut Creek. They always joke, the old timers who lived there, they always say if the walls could talk, it would make you cry, because they would have parties like you wouldn't believe. Take everything you've seen in like Boogie Nights and all the rest of those movies based out of the 70s. That was the keys.
All right. So water intrusion, this is what Greg talked about. Pool deck and North Spa, significant line items for plumbing and piping replacement, all pretty normal for a place that old. And one of the things I do want to highlight for you guys is AI does not necessarily have context. Greg and I can tell you from years in the business that anything built in the 70s probably has plumbing issue.
Oh God, yeah.
If it hasn't had the pipes replaced, it is going to need that at some point in the future, depending on the source of the water. So some of these you've got to take with a grain of salt. Asbestos. Every house has asbestos. I had a client recently that flipped their cookies about the fact that they got a lead paint warning in their disclosures about their property that was 70 years old.
It's going to have lead paint in it.
Okay. Now, guys, when we get paint, you don't take off the old paint. You paint over it, right? You got a new color, you paint over it. You stop using lead, you just paint over it. So what I told him is, hey, if you're worried about the risk of lead paint, don't eat the paint. Because that's your only risk, because it's probably 10 layers down. Okay, now here's a real one, rental restrictions. Okay, if you're buying something and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to Airbnb this or something. No. This association that Greg was in prohibits short-term rentals.
Oh, yeah. I hate them. Absolutely hate them.
Hey, only one dog, 25 pounds at maturity.
Yeah, no, I had a 75-pound dog in there. That's BS.
Yeah. Okay. Replace flooring. You must achieve specific sound rating. Mm-hmm. You're required to place area rugs in high traffic areas.
It's true. My unit was on the 4th floor, and I was going to put hardwood floors in, and that was going to cost me about $20,000 to put the floors in, because I had to put special insulation in. I had to agree to put the area rugs in for high traffic areas, and so I opted for carpet. I said, forget about it. It's going to make life a lot easier. But that's a real thing.
No, it's huge, and I think there is always, there are risks like this and everything. The funny part is this is probably, way far into those 900 pages.
It's buried at the bottom of something in a cliff note. I mean, absolutely.
Yep. And it does tell you there are reference points that it's going to tell you where and the exact language that created this flooring. but it's still, for you to go through and find that without AI was way hard in the old days. And we used to laugh because, God, and it wasn't too long ago, Greg, that we used to get HOA docs sent over in paper.
Oh, the evil paper.
And guys, think about 900 pages printed out. Okay. And before I tell you how you would get these, it would be 900 pages is almost 2 reams of paper. So think about a ream of copier paper. Now think about 2 of them. Okay. And the way it used to be is that it was a scan of the documents themselves that we were given. So it was huge. So you would get all that. Notebook LM can still read that for you. All right. So I'm going to speed this up, but as you look at this, if you have specific questions, you can ask them.
Oh, can I ask one? Let me put one out there. Give me the top 7 red flags I should be concerned about for purchasing this property. I would love to see what the top 7 are going to be. I just picked a random, odd number. Because we got the initial overview. Now we're going to get nitty gritty and we could have gone like, give me, plumbing, water intrusion, fees, increases, cash holds, you can ask anything you want, but we're just doing a generic 10,000 foot pick right now, guys. And the cool things, you can add in CCNRs, you can add in, market data, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this program. And the thing that I really like, and I hope Michael will get into, is the mind mapping and the flashcards and the infographics. The infographics, I think, could be really cool to send to clients, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, so it's going to go through here. Number 1, active litigation. Number 2, underfunded reserves. It's going to go through these really quickly, and it's going to tell you why. Okay, number 3, borrowing from savings to pay bills. Okay, that's bad all the way across the line. Number 4, insurance. 5, aging infrastructure and water intrusion, and then rising monthly costs is 6, strict renovation and lifestyle restrictions.
Yep, they do that.
So no boogie nights in this place.
Nope.
Ton of stuff we can do, and I absolutely love the idea of HOA docs. But excuse me, but Greg, I want to move on to another one because I think there's a lot more that we can do. If we go in here, I am going to drop in 41 Meadow Drive.
Meadow Lake Drive, yeah.
And these are disclosures that Greg got on a property at Lake Meadow Drive. Okay, so I am putting in NHD report. What else is in here?
Organic geotech, landscaping plans, full set of plans.
Original geotech, demo plans. Okay. You know what, Greg? We're going to power through this, and then I'm going to show you one even better. Okay.
Cool.
So same thing here. I'm considering the purchase of this home.
Oh, it's a lot, but we should say lot or home, whatever.
Give me the top 10 things I should look out for. Okay, now the first thing I want to point out, Greg, this is a pretty easy prompt, right? Mm-hmm. This is real world text. This is what I would ask anybody, Greg. Mm-hmm. Greg, what are the top 10 things I should look out for in these documents that you're giving me? Because I've never seen a set of disclosures before. Okay, so Greg can go through there. He can type this in, and it's going to highlight what are the top 10 problems with this home. Takes a few minutes. We're reading through all this data. And I'm not sure how much this is, but it's a fair amount of stuff. And it's not all exciting.
But that's the whole point. None of these docs are exciting. This is not like, getting a text from somebody you're going to go on a first date with, and you're super excited about the opportunity to go out and experience something. This is mundane, boring stuff, and it's very complicated at times. And sometimes it takes a lot of effort if you don't know what you're doing to understand this stuff. This breaks it down to the nomenclature that the average human is going to be able to understand.
Okay, so we go through here. Driveway stability, landslide history, very high fire severity zone, significant foundation. It's like, wow, okay, here's a lot of terms, but what does this really mean? Okay, so now you're like, hey, can you give me an idea of what costs to repair these issues might be? Okay, so now it's going to go through, and now we're talking about getting some real world information. So your clients are going to want to know, hey, Greg, you outlined these 10 things I should look out for, but what does that really mean? Are we talking about $1,000? Are we talking about $10,000? Are we talking about $100,000?
True.
So it's going to go through here and it's going to map this out.
But here's the cool thing I was just thinking about. Once we get done with this, I want to jump over to mind map, and I have a reason why I want to jump over to mind map, just to show people what they can do to use this content to then create questions that you and your buyer or your seller, whoever the scenario is going to look like, can then ask the other agent and the other buyer or seller.
Yep.
Based upon this content.
All right. So now this does, it's not instantaneous, but I guarantee you, if Greg and I were doing this in Excel,
forget about it.
Probably be on cell A1 right now going, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
Okay. So here we go. Okay. Based on the provided, there are no specific monetary estimates listed for the repairs. Documents explicitly state these costs are variable and currently unknown. Okay. You'll need to do your own estimate. So there weren't a lot in here.
So let's go to mind mapping really quickly and take that and go to mind map and kind of see. And I used to really like mind mapping. My father loves mind mapping. I just was messing around about this thing. But once this pops up, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And it's going to be able to get these key points. Oh, here we go. Now we're generating the mind map right now. Now, this is what I loved about this thing. And I haven't even played with the infographics yet. But this is going to take those basic concepts. So Michael's going to click on that link right there. And boom. Now you see the arrows? Now, Michael, which one would you want to click on first?
Well, I'm going to start from the top, go down, but here I clicked on statutory natural hazard disclosures. We go through here and boom.
Hey, zoom in a little bit on that, please, so everybody can see that.
Oops.
Hit the plus button. Plus button.
I did. Let's see. I'm trying to make it
plus
bigger
button right
for you overall so we can go through.
But see that little arrow right there? That'll give you can mind map even further on those little green arrows. So you can look at that one.
No.
I don't know why you keep pressing that.
And then it's going to go over here and it's going to, you'll notice in the chat, it's consulting the sources, gathering the facts regarding FEMA special flood hazard area, larger context, and it will go through there. Now, the amazing part about this is a visual that your client can use. Now, what I really like about these tools, especially, Google LM, is you do have a button right at the top here that you can share. And like all Google products, you can share these with other people. So you can create all of this data and give your client access to this in a way that they've never had before. And for me, that's super powerful because a lot of clients aren't super technical. They don't know what it takes to do something and how to build something out. Now, this is taking a hot second.
Well, let's keep clicking down the other side since that one's going to be operating, or do we have to hold?
No, we don't have to hold. You can jump into anything. But you know what I'm going to do here, and I know we're cruising along. Greg, I'm going to build one more real quick because I want to talk about the pricing piece.
Okay.
And I'm throwing one in here for a property that we looked at a little bit more in detail. This is another set of disclosures. Okay.
Here's a question I'm actually interested. I was just thinking about this. What if you went into the MLS and let's say you're going to be looking at a property that you're going to be potentially listing at 123 Main Street, and then it has 3-bed, 2-bath. So you go back through the data history in the MLS and you export all the properties that are active, pending, and sold within a certain geographical region. So let's say a half a mile, and you can pull all that stuff through the MLS. You export it out, you put it into a file, you upload it into Notebook LM. And then it analyzes, based upon, active pending, dates on market, purchase price to sales price. You can ask it to do anything and everything that you want, but that's not what we're talking about now. But I'm just giving us some time as this is uploading the content. And so we can take a look at everything that you're going to be talking about in a second. But is there any limitation of information? Because when you went to the first side, you can go to a website, you can go to the web, you can go, you can go to, I think social media, upload documentation. You can really play with any content that you want. And by the way, you can also use it for videos on YouTube. I was messing with that.
All right. So, Greg, I dropped these in there and I went through and asked the same thing. My client is considering purchasing this home based on that information in these disclosures. What are the top 10 things? Now, one of the things that was a little bit different about this is there was actually some information in there.
Can you make that a little bit bigger? Can you make that a little bit bigger? It's pretty small on our side. Just to say. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just hard to read. That's all.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, if you're watching this on your phone, it's going to suck. But hey, it talks about based on this, number one, high fire severity zone and insurance costs. Okay. California Fair Plan estimates the premium at $2,647 annually. Okay. Special flood hazard, another $1,600. Okay. These are real things. Wood destroying pets and organisms. Okay. Now, the pest report here identified what it would cost to do some of this, and AI dragged those numbers out so that they could have them front and center, so they don't have to go through all this information to get to these numbers. Plumbing system, okay, rodent activity, all of these things. Now,
well, you can do this for a home inspection report, a chimney report, soils report. Anything that you want, you can upload these docs and get the same results, guys. So, I'm dyslexic, so reading for me is like, it's not my favorite thing to do on God's green earth, but I would much rather get a summary and then I can put it to audio and I can listen to it and I can send it on a couple of different versions to my clients.
So the next thing you can do is you can say, create a version of this as a PDF that I can share with my client. So if you don't want to share the whole thing, or maybe there's somebody that isn't really technically savvy and having that information isn't going to help them, you can create that PDF version right here in your document. So you've got an easy way to share that information with your client, and AI can build that for you so that you don't have to do all of that work. So it's going through, making it clear.
And to be clear, not to say, pull off Michael on being clear, but think about this. So we're sitting here, we're talking, jabbering back and forth, and the machine is doing all the work for us. Now we're going like, oh my God, this is taking so long. No. This is microseconds compared to what you would have to do by spending an entire day or a half an afternoon, or having an assistant you pay $15, $20, $30 an hour to go through, read and dissect and then disseminate it. It's being done for you within maybe a minute, maybe.
Yep. So it's giving you this document in a format that's a little better, and it's asking you to copy and paste and then save it or export to a PDF. So it's not giving you the PDF in this case. It's telling you how to create your own.
But you can just literally copy and paste and put it in an email. Yep. Done story.
Yeah. 10 fixes.
Think about this, guys and gals. When have you ever been able to eat your sandwich at lunch, right, with your laptop after you uploaded the documents, sit there, and then, enjoy a nice soda, some good sunshine, get your content, get all this information, disseminate it down, put a plan, however your client wants to have it sent to them, email it over to them before you get done with your first half of your sandwich, and then ask for a response in their review, and you go on with your day. You did your job and move on to the next client's needs.
Yep. Now, the beautiful part about this too, Greg, is there is an app available for Google LM, okay, or Notebook LM, sorry. So if you want, you can do this on mobile. You can attach video files, you can attach audio files, all of those things you can put into this and have a really powerful tool. And the best part about it is you can continue to ask the questions in different ways to get the answers you want. Okay, so one of the things that I just did is, what are the costs associated with these top 10? And it's going to tell me right here. Let's let it finish writing out. Okay, your insurance is going to cost you about this. Your defensible space compliance. Okay, what you need to do. Estimated annual premium for flood insurance. Wood destroying pests. Here's the fumigation, the repair, the deck boards, floor joists. Okay, so you get a feel. No specific bids. Roof fracture details, $500. All these things are in there. What your septic tank maintenance costs are going to be. Okay, all of these things come through. And the more information that you have, if you have estimates, you can throw them in there. If you have other data, you can put all of that right into the system.
Now, here's a question. Is it regional or county or like city based, or does it pull that information off those documents so it knows if it's in Alameda County, San Jose, San Francisco, Boston, Texas, Maine? I mean, does it know that information?
You can add that information. It does know the address, but you could specify in there, this home is in San Lorenzo or wherever, and it is something that you can go through and put that information in there. You might also want to add to your sources a link to county websites.
That's a great idea.
Any information that is going to be relevant could then be a source that you use as part of what you're doing. So in this case, it shows, I have 30 sources. You could add more sources.
Ooh, I just had an idea, Michael.
Yeah.
What if let's say you live, it's for a big county, let's say San Francisco County, very high density, right? Everybody knows San Francisco. And you just go to the county, recorder's office, or go to any other source in the county, get their link, and say, okay, so I have, what are the average costs for upgrading a property in San Francisco proper, right? Or in Bernal Heights, or in, Noe Valley, or in the Mission. I'm just picking out neighborhoods. And then you can ask that specifically for those different locations. That would be a fascinating thing, because then you can take that content and create videos about your hyper local marketplaces that you want to talk about. If people are going to be buying and rehabbing, so now you become someone who knows the legit costs on things, and then you can save that in the PDF or save it as a link, and then you can send it out to people who are inquiring off your videos, and now that's a giveaway for them.
Yep. The only thing I would add to that is make sure that you are adding information that's relevant. So, average cost isn't necessarily something that's public data. When somebody goes out and gets a permit, they don't say, I spent X amount of dollars on this. So sometimes those numbers, you've got to take them with a grain of salt, because it might be pulling that from information that isn't 100% accurate.
So there's a site called Cost versus Value, and it breaks it down by region. So you can go into a hyper local. So like, let's say West Coast, East Coast, Northwest, North, South, whatever. You can go in and then you can select the county. It will pull up exactly what those costs are. It's a link. You can upload it. And then you can go off of those numbers that they have per year, per area, high, medium, and low remodel costs, and where your returns are.
Very cool. Okay. Craig, I know we normally try to get out of here quick, but I want to drop out now, and I want you to talk about your agent, because I think it's exciting and I don't want to call you non-technical, as a less directly technical person.
Wow. Well, we're really reaching here for proper terms, aren't we?
Got to be PC. As a less technical person, I want you to share why. Let's start with the why. Then I want to go to the how and what the results are. So why did you start creating an agent.
So
Period.
it's really simple. Here, let me see if I can share screen here. Open system settings. Fine. What am I supposed to do here, man? It's not letting me share. I don't know what. I think because you're hogging the screen.
Now try.
Deny. Cancel. Deny. Okay. So let's see if I can just add this thing in here really quickly, guys. This is something that I found. Google Chrome app bundle would like to record. Fine. What the?
Anyways, like I said, less technical.
We're gonna just deal with this another day.
Okay.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me in. Here's the issue. Hold on. Let me see. I wasn't set for this. I didn't know it was going to ask me all these damn questions. Yes, allow. Okay. Later. Just let me in. So the reason why I created, okay, it's not going to let me do it. So screw this. We're just going to go on to the next. What I did is I went into ChatGPT and asked it several different questions. And I just asked it because I was interested to kind of see one of two things. Can I create an email version, which I really wish I could show you guys what I created for you. But I went in and I said, okay, I need multiple different sources, right? And I want to do a couple of things. I want to create an email version, and I want to. So
my screen, Greg. If you want to walk me through what you did,
it's going to take too damn long.
Okay.
But what I did is I went in and I said, okay, these are all the different sources I want to use. So like Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, Inman News, just laundry list of content providers, correct? Then I asked that I want you to give me, a breakdown on anything and everything that's going to affect real estate buying or selling for buyers and for sellers individually. I also want you to give me a link to every article with every source there. So I'm using Fast Company, Zillow, Redfin, Newsweek, CNN, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae.
Everybody.
I'm using every resource I can possibly find, and they're going out, and I run this report every single day. And I said, I need this to be in a done-for-you format. And I said, okay, not a problem. So I ran it again today. And I said, it says real estate market and tech update, and it says full body. So all you have to do is literally copy and paste this thing. And then you can send it out to your database probably once a week. I wouldn't do it every day. That's a little overkill. Then I asked it for national and regional information. So then I broke it down by region. So it's West Coast, South, West, South, Northwest, Northeast. And it gave the states, and it gave me kind of what was going on in each state. Then it gave me a plain English takeaway. It says, if you're a buyer, conditions are among the best in years to find value as a buyer. As a seller, demand exists, but you must price smart and a good marketing strategy. Then I asked it to talk about real estate agents and brokers. And I wanted to kind of take a look at kind of when we're talking about, typical real estate, luxury real estate, and then inventory, is the inventory rising? And so their databases came from Zillow, Redfin, and then Tech Outlook. Then I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool too. Now let's talk about tech and marketing trends. As an agent or as anyone in industry in any way, shape, or form, what is being used the most? Data-driven pricing and CRMs, digital listing experience, and it matters. Constant strategy, micro market videos, neighborhood spotlights, value focus strategies and stories, focusing on the hype. Then and then went a little bit higher on that. It says full copy, and it says this is a full copy and paste to social content packages. So I also asked it, okay, I need this ready, done for me for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you could add in anything else you want in there, but this is fully done. It gives me a title, a description, the brief talking points. Then it does a CTA, call to action, and it gives me hashtags per different platform, so that you can go and talk about the same dang thing, but you're speaking in the language of that platform. You're not blanketing it. A lot of us, what we do is we don't create the right hook or the right headline, so people never click on it. Now you speak in LinkedIn language different than you talk on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. Now it also kind of goes a little bit deeper, and it goes into today's agent action steps, and it's very simple. This is it. Record a 60-second vertical video summarizing this update. That should be very simple. And then post it on YouTube Shorts, IG Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, and LinkedIn. Just do stupid, simple stuff like this. And always remember, call to action, CTA, DM me or update, you DM me for an update for your personalized market snapshot. So then you can get hyper local, different neighborhoods, different, zip codes, so on and so forth. But as I play with this thing, I find the value being incredibly high based upon the fact, one, you're going to learn something you can put in your own business. And number two, you're going to be able to segment that out. So you can then create for it to go out and just talk to the consumers, go deeper on consumers, push that out to your database. Your agent side for marketing, if you want to help other agents and stuff like that, take that, disseminate that out into its own email, send it out all to your real estate friends around the country, around the neighborhoods. Become the resource. The content's here. You don't have to overthink it. And that's one of the things that I'm consistently doing. I'm already talking with my team manager, and we're going to be sending one of these out here very soon to our extensive database, both agents and consumers, and just see what the response is. Because people are always saying they don't know what they don't know to say.
Yep.
Well, it's already done for you. And you don't have to sit there and go like, well, should I say this? How do I sound about that? No, just go deep. Just go as deep as you have to, as light as you can in regards to content, because you don't want to confuse people, but you want to give them something that they can take away, one tangible item that they can go talk to their spouse, their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers. Hey, did you hear about blah, blah, interest rates, the absorption rate in different marketplaces compared to national numbers. Make it fun, make it interesting, make it sexy, so that when they see your emails come through, they're going to be like, oh, what does Michael have for me next? What does Greg have for me next?
Yep.
How is this going to benefit my life? And once you become sticky, once you become relevant, the people are not going to unsubscribe, and they're going to stick with you. That's why I created The Agent, Michael.
Perfect. Okay. So Greg, we got just a couple minutes left, and I just want to talk a little bit about what Greg's talking about, because I want you to be able to leave this episode and know how to do this. So I'm going to go back to sharing real quick, and we're going to talk about a little bit of the stuff that Greg just chatted about. Okay, so one of the first things, this plus is kind of your magic button on chat, right? You can go in here, and one of the things Greg talked about was, clicked on it wrong, adding sources. Okay, one of the things they give you is the ability to go in and add your Gmail, your Google Calendar, all the stuff that's relevant to you. But down at the bottom, you'll notice connect more. So I can come through here. I can look. I can add things like in this industry, I can add Zillow. Okay, I can connect my Zillow account. All right, I can go through, and I'm not sure if this will allow me to do it. Connect, and there we go. I'm now connected with Zillow, so I can search property data as I go through there. There's so much stuff that you can do under here that you just want to make sure that you are using the tools that you have access to. Okay, you can also add custom URLs. You can put all of that in there, and then in agent mode, you can go in and you can do things, and you can automatically get them reported or sent to you directly. ChatGPT can email you this document that you can then cut and paste, format it the way you want it, extract the information. I wouldn't just raw send it until you feel like it is consistently good, but you can build that whole thing. And I suppose, Greg, maybe later this week, we should do another session where you actually show people how you built the agent. And
we do that.
The reason that I want Greg to do this versus having me do it is I do it differently than everybody else. I think Greg will do it a way that real estate agents and professionals out there and people that are maybe less technical, okay, they have the knowledge, they just can't apply it. Greg's going to show you how to apply your real estate knowledge to ChatGPT to get something out of it. So I don't want to take up time in this episode, Greg. We're at that 44-minute.
Yep.
But we are going to do another one. We are going to cover this, and we're going to make sure that the agents and the people that are watching.
Here's the cool thing is that.
Go ahead. Did you freeze?
Good.
Oh, that was awesome,
brother, man.
Wait. What was the cool thing? You froze.
Well, it's the what I really thought was really cool at the bottom of that the screen you had up here. I'm going to bring that back up really quickly. Is at the very bottom here. It says research Gen X and Gen Z purchase behaviors using Nielsen IQ. That is freaking fascinating. Depending on where you operate and live out of. Imagine if I'm a Gen Xer, right? And I think Michael's a Gen X, right? Or
I
you
don't know
Boomer
what
Town?
70s, baby.
Oh, you're definitely Boomer. No,
Oh,
I'm
whatever.
70s. I'm 70s. I'm 78. So but it's cool to kind of look at the different behaviors on the buyers. So now you can have a different way of having communications with them. So, anyways, let's wrap this thing up. Michael, what was your number one takeaway on this?
My number one takeaway is kind of a give back, you guys. Every single one of you can do all the things that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. You just need to try. There is no wrong answer. Go in and play with these things and see how they work. Use Notebook LM in your business every single day, even for the very basic one-line queries. Here's my HOA documents. What should my client be aware of? Okay. Simple. Now, be cognizant of the fact that it's not 100% accurate, right? It may say there's a huge plumbing issue, and you're like, hey, dude, everybody has to replace their pipes at some point. That's not a huge issue. So you have to add your knowledge and experience based on the market, but you can use these tools and you can help your client be more informed and better educated by doing searches through the documents that you're giving them. So go do this. That's my takeaway give back for the show, Greg.
Nice. I like it. Guys, go check out Notebook LM 100%. If that's the only thing you do from this show, go mess with it. It doesn't cost you a dime, and 99%, almost 100% of agents do not know this exists. So be that one person that can be standing out and be that person that's your clients are going to rave about. And the other agents are going to be like, how in the heck did he or she get that much information that quickly?
Yeah.
Notebook LM, Michael. So notebooklm.google.com. Go there, check it out, or just search it. That's what I did. Either way, go take a look. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be coming back. That's Michael Fielden. Michael, where can they find you if they need some tech support?
Hey, you guys can find me at supportgeeks.com, and you can reach out to Greg or myself by greg@regeeks.com or michael@regeeks.com, and we will respond to every one of your emails except for the spam.
Yep. That's when Michael is much better at email than I am. But we will get back to you guys. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next show. Go be prosperous. We love you. Until then, boom, peace.
Thanks, Greg. Peace.